that the people of Molokai cannot afford 178% increase in their water rates. I don't think anybody in Hawaii can afford that. I don't think there's ever been a rate increase in that magnitude in the state of Hawaii. So the people who can least afford to pay these rates have been burdened with this problem, and the burden has come from the state of Hawaii and their solution to this threat that was man-made on the island of Molokai. So we had to come here and tell our story. There was no other way that we could get our story out. So we initiated our press releases to you guys for all of the details. Basically, we're here to visit with the governor's office and ask her to declare the hearings null and void. Those hearings were flawed to the max. Those hearings were all upside down. Nobody could understand this unprecedented word when they came to having these hearings. It was totally confusing to us. And the end result, we understood. The end result was a rate that we could not afford to pay. So, why did the PUC ask for this rate increase? Never in the history have we ever heard of the PUC asking for a rate increase. It's the utilities who asked for the rate increase. It's not PUC. So that confused us. We couldn't understand how the process was being done. And then the DCCA, another state agency, the Consumer Advocate's Office, who's there to protect us, did not protect us. It did not raise a single protest statement about this huge increase. Normally, all the red flags go up at the DCCA when it comes to a 25% rate increase. And what happened was a 178% rate increase. Nobody said anything to defend the people of Molokai or any of the ratepayers. So we're here to say that these state agencies need to declare the process null and void, and we need to have a fair hearing for the island of Molokai on these rate increases. And we need Molokai Ranch to ask the PUC for a rate increase. We want Molokai Ranch to justify all of the amounts they're asking, so we as a people can respond to these things in the manner that the legislature set up for us to do. So we're going to be visiting all of these offices, asking everybody, including the Ombudsman's office, who's doing an investigation on all of this, so that we can have a fair hearing on us. So basically, that's why we're here, and that's why people that came, young people came, whoever could come from Molokai, they jumped on the airplane, and we came here to tell our story. And we have support from the very beginning from our representatives in our district, and also from a senator who lives on Molokai some of the times as a home on Molokai, and he's always helping us on Molokai. And I'd like to ask our representative, Nellie Carroll from Maui, to share some Mana'o, because they were involved right from the beginning to try and resolve this problem before it was put on the backs of the people of Molokai.
Thank you everyone for coming out today to support the island of Molokai, the people of that island. So I'm Representative Nellie Carroll, and I represent the island of Molokai in the State House Representative. I put some of my thoughts on paper so I would not forget, because this issue is very complicated. But really it's simple. It's about the people and how they suffer. It is estimated that more than 1,000 people in Molokai would suffer dire consequences without water and sewer services. Molokai properties' ambiguous responses have not offered reassurance nor raised the level of confidence for the residents that are affected. Certainly, a wealthy company that has financially supported its subsidiaries should not simply walk away from legal and moral obligations. When Molokai Ranch cited financial hopelessness and yet provided no financial evidence, they announced that they would terminate its water and sewage utility services at the end of August. By threatening to cut off an essential lifeline to the Molokai community, Molokai Ranch created a man-made and calculated crisis in order to avoid financial responsibility. This is not Pono. When the PUC deliberated its determination as to whether or not they should raise their rates by 178%, why didn't they conduct a financial audit of the utilities. And yet, the PUC claimed it had no choice but to raise the rates of Waiʻola or Molokai water utility. The people of Molokai cannot afford to pay such inflated rate increases as a means to subsidize mismanaged utilities. This is injustice. Today I stand in support of the complaint filed by the Molokai community to investigate the PUC for breaching a duty to ensure that all rates, fares, and charges are just and reasonable. A normal cap of 25% rate increase is much more reasonable than a 178 rate increase. What is this really about? Appeasing the demands of a foreign-owned business? On behalf of the Molokai community, I ask that the August 14, 2008 rate increase approved by the PUC be considered null and void. I also ask Governor Lingo to please demand a fair and just rate review process. Again, Molokai Ranch should not simply walk away from legal and moral obligations. This precedent is not right. Do the right thing. And I have to tell you that Molokai, we do survive, right? Yeah. We do overcome. But this is injustice, and that is why I'm standing here on behalf of the community to help with this issue. But more importantly, we don't want to set a bad precedent across the nation, especially when a private company comes in and dictates to government and to the people. So I thank everyone who's here today. And please don't give up, because you know what? This is about our lifestyle. This is about our sense of place. This is about our home. And we cannot be pushed out of our home. We must stand up for what's right. And I stand here in support of the Molokai community. Mahalo.